I do have a bit of a question about how you wrangle politicians against policymakers and people who are advocating for rivers, because it must take a lot to convince some of them to come up and sit on a panel and potentially be faced with very awkward questions, and trying to get them to believe that the reason we're doing it is to make everything better. So what is that like?
It's really interesting. I had a very classic example last year, actually, because first panel of the day, which was going to be chaired by James Wallace from River Action. Unfortunately, he had a family situation. So the actor Jim Murray stepped in. It was around water finance and governance, which was always going to be a very hotly debated subject.
Yeah.
And but we'd arranged the panel a couple of months in advance. Nothing had changed. Minister Emma Hardy had agreed to be on that panel. And the week before, she said that she would come, but she wouldn't be on the panel, but she would take questions from the panel. And the night before, I got an email saying that she wasn't prepared to take questions from the panel, but she was prepared to be interviewed. Now, that was a huge disappointment for me, because being in a position of, Minister for Water and accepting that role, you would think
Yeah.
that they would be confident enough to debate those subjects, because we had Colin Skellett, who is, I think, the CEO of the YTL group, so Wessex Water, Professor Newn McGaughey, Ash Smith from WASP, Kat Hobbs from We Own It. I mean, it was the CEO of David Black, who was the CEO of Ofwat at the time. It was a hotly anticipated panel. So it doesn't always work out. I mean, the year before, we had a really interesting cross-party panel, and this year is looking amazing. And we're actually going to do it in a format a little bit like Question Time and call it Water
Oh,
Time,
yeah, lovely.
and have a group of MPs and that. So I think it's finding also where those politicians and those policymakers may feel comfortable. And I've learned that, it's a fine balance between where you would love them to be in that debate, but also where they feel that they have something to offer and that they can talk confidently about it. Because I suppose, it's a hot topic. It's a hot electoral topic at the moment. We're coming up to the local elections. And I understand why they may be reticent, but also I think it's a wonderful opportunity. And as someone said to me after last year, they said, "Pet, I'm not quite sure how you made a protest feel like a garden party."